Anti-vaccine protesters have targeted the Federal Health Minister's Victorian office as health experts call for calm over early rollout mishaps. A leading immunisation authority says most Australians remain committed to getting the jab. Medical reporter Emily Rice.
Hundreds of protesters and almost as many police gathered outside Federal Health Minister Greg Hunt's Somerville office to make their voices heard.
We are coming!
Exactly what they were trying to say was at times difficult to discern.
Criminal! You're all criminals! He has to be jailed!
The signage, however, was clear. The group is opposed to the government's pandemic response and critical of the COVID jab.
Border closures and mandatory masks. And now all this talk about a mandatory vaccine.
He only cares about advancing his career and advancing the corporate interests of the pharmaceutical corporations.
In contrast to last week's violent demonstration, this rally was passionate but peaceful.
We have virtually nothing to distinguish from Australia, between Australia and China.
It's just about basically informed consent and choice.
So far nationally, more than 23,000 people have received the COVID-19 vaccine, including 6,500 in aged care. That is below the target of 30,000 for the first week. The delays blamed on a couple of mishaps. On Tuesday, 2 Queensland nursing home residents were given an excessive dose. Then on Wednesday, 25 vials were discarded after a storage issue at a Werribee facility. Vaccination uptake expert Professor Julian Leask says early mistakes are no surprise given the scale and speed of the inoculation program.
Australians get it when something has been a bit of a blip and it's going to be fixed, versus when something is deeply wrong with the system.
And she is confident this won't destroy community confidence.
About 80% of Australians are considering or definitely going to have the COVID-19 vaccine, so that's a good thing.
With the COVID vaccine rollout continuing until October, this won't be the last time we see a demonstration of this type in Victoria.
This isn't stopping anytime soon.
Good evening. Victoria has enjoyed its first day of COVID normal as masks came off and crowds gathered at theatres, venues and parks. But residents in Melbourne's western suburbs are being urged to monitor for symptoms after traces of the virus were picked up in wastewater. Reid Butler reports.
Service with a smile you can actually see.
Massive relief. Yeah, and now we can smile at all the happy customers.
And there are plenty of them.
It's good to finally experience something a bit different.
We're officially back to COVID normal.
Melbourne has been completely unshackled.
We're now even allowed back in Queensland, the border opening to Greater Melbourne today. There have been no new cases recorded in the past 24 hours. 15 active infections remain across the state. 3 of those are in hospital, 1 in intensive care. The relaxing of outdoor gathering rules today meant this baby shower in Braeside could go ahead, and there were crowds at the Prince's Theatre, now able to operate at 75% capacity. 75% of city workers are now able to return to the office, something CBD businesses have been desperate for.
Hopefully people do flock back into the city. It'd just be good to see, faces again.
Today, venues were also put on notice over QR codes. Businesses have 4 weeks to upgrade their current QR code electronic check-in system so it connects seamlessly with the government's contact tracing software.
If businesses find that their QR code provider won't do that, then I would encourage them to download the Service Victoria app and to use the Service Victoria app for those logins.
Too little, too late, according to the state opposition.
They've had a year, more than a year, to get this in place. And you've got to ask, what on earth have they been doing? Snoozing. That's what Daniel Andrews and his ministers have been doing on this.
There is a warning tonight for residents in Melbourne's western suburbs. Viral fragments have been detected in a catchment in the city's outer west, covering 11 suburbs, including Taylors Hill and Caroline Springs. Anyone with symptoms in those suburbs should get tested immediately. Reid Butler, 9 News.